Bismillah. Okay, good morning, class. Today we're looking at grade 12, paper 2, 2022, the NSC paper. At this point, you guys should have answered the full question paper already. So we're just discussing the question paper. If there's any mistake I made, please let me know. Otherwise, if there's something that needs to be clarified, just raise your voice to your hand. Okay. So let's look at question 1. The matric class of a certain high school has to vote for chairperson of the RCL, representative council of learners. The scatter plot below shows the IQ, the intelligence quotient of 10 learners who received the most votes and the number of votes that they received. Right. Okay, so we are given the scatter plot. Okay, so we're given the scatter plot and we're given the table of values that is linked to this. Before the election, the popularity of each of these 10 learners was established and the popularity score of 100 was assigned to each. The popularity score and the number of votes of the same 10 learners who received the most votes are shown in the table below. So there are popularity score and number of votes in the table, whilst in the scatter plot you have the number of votes and the IQ. Okay. So the table does not necessarily represent the scatter plot. Okay. So let's look at the first question. We are told to calculate the mean number of votes that the 10 learners received. So the number of votes will be drawn from here. Okay, as you can see, the next question deals with the standard deviation of the number of votes that these 10 learners received. So to calculate the mean, I can add it all up and then divide it by 10. However, since the second question is dealing with the standard deviation, which I need to do from the calculator anyway, so I'm going to program the calculator to give me both values. So we press mode, stat, one first variable. So we've got 9, 22, can somebody read the numbers please? 10, 21 yes, 11, 15, 20, 12, 19, 16. This AC, all clear. Shift. Number 1, 4 for variance, 2 for mean. Mean is 15.5. Okay. The next question asks for the standard deviation of the number of votes that these 10 learners received. So if we shift 1, 4 for variance, 3 for standard deviation, equals 4,59. Okay. The next question says 1.2. The learners who receive fewer votes than one standard deviation below the mean were not invited for an interview. How many learners were invited? So if you're looking at less than one standard deviation of the mean, so we know what the mean is minus your standard deviation. That gives us an answer of, so you say 15.5 minus 4.59 gives us 10.91. So whichever is less than 10.91 is lower than one standard deviation of the mean. So is 9 lower than the one standard deviation? Yes. 10? Yes. 11? No. 22? No. 21? No. 15? No. 20? No. 12? No. 19? No. 16? No. So how many is less than one standard deviation? 2. But the question says, how many learners were invited? So therefore, 8 were invited. Can you see that? Because the question says, the learners who received fewer than one standard deviation below the mean were not invited. So how many is less than one standard deviation of the mean? 2. Now the question says, how many learners were invited? The complement, not so with the others, which is 8. Okay. Number 1.3. Determine the equation of least squares regression line for the data given in the table. The least squares regression line. Again, I need to work out I need to use a calculator. So I press mode. It's also stacked. 2. Can somebody read the first column, the x-axis there? Popularity score. 32 years, then? Sorry? What? 89, 35, 82, 50, 59, sorry? 81, 40, 79, and 65. I move over. I want the y values now. I need the y values is 9, 22, 10, 21, 11, 15, 20, 12, 19, and 16. 1, 6. Now we press AC. Shift. Number 1. 5 for regression. Remember that the formula will be in the form of y equals a plus bx. Okay? 1 for a, 1 comma 7 7 is 1 comma 7 7. Get b after shift. Number 1, 5 for regression, 2 for b. It should have been positive as you look at the diagram. 0 comma, so it's plus 0 comma 2 to x. Okay, so that's the equation of the regression line. Okay. The least squares regression line, also known as the line of best fit or the trend line. Okay. 1.4, 1.5. So in question 1.4, they asked you to predict the number of votes that the learner with a popularity score of 72 will receive. Now the popularity is the x. So in other words, I must calculate the y value. So that would simply be y is equal to 1 comma 77 plus 0 comma 22 times 72. So that gives us 1.77 plus 0.22 times 72. Gives us 17.61. So it's approximately 18 votes you will receive. Okay. Let's look at 1.5. In 1.5, using the scatter plot and the table below, provide a reason why the IQ is not a good indicator of the number of votes that the learner could receive. Using the scatter plot and the table. If we're looking at this here, the scatter plot, or the table, looking at the table in particular, when a number or a data set is reliable, we are told by the calculation of the correlation coefficient. Okay. If you're looking at this set of data here, do you think this R value will be a strong, a very strong, a moderate, a weak, or very weak? This is all over the place. So it's weak, not so. So there's actually a weak correlation here. So to use the table here for the first one, the IQ is not a good indicator. Why? Because it's a weak correlation here. That would be my reasoning. Otherwise, we're looking at your R value. We press mode, shift, 1, 5 for regression, 3 for your R value. So the table is fairly high. Okay? So this R value from the table, popularity and number of votes here, that is high. But if you're looking at the IQ against the number of votes, here you can see there's no correlation. This is read the question again. Using the scatter plot and the table, provide the reason why the IQ is not a good indicator. There's no IQ here. So I must use the table, so I'm going to stick with the fact that the correlation is low. Okay, what did I say?
Points are all scattered with or no correlation.
There we go, no correlation. Okay. I shouldn't have brought the table in because there is no IQ. Right. Let's look at 1.5.2. The prediction in 1.4, is it reliable? Now in 1.4 we predicted for 72, a popularity score of 72. So if you look here, 72 is within this range here. Can you see that? Can you see, people? 72 is within that. It's between the 79, we got lots of values between. So 72 is actually a value between the given values, not so. So is this an interpolation or extrapolation? Is the data inside this range or outside the range? It's inside. So it's an interpolation. If it's outside, it's an extrapolation, which means to say, if something is within the known data, then it's a fair representation of the calculation. Not so. Whereas if it's lying outside, then we don't know how the data reacts outside the range. You understand? So then it wouldn't be a good measurement. So to answer the question here, the prediction in 1 to 4, is this reliable? I would say yes. Why? Because it's an interpolation. Or this is where the R value comes in, which I calculated on the calculator, which is still showing as 0.983. What is that? That is a very strong correlation, not so. So I would say, is it reliable? Yes. Why? You can say either your R value is very high or it's an interpolation. What did I say? Okay, so they're saying here, they're mentioning the R value and the correlation is very strong. Let's go to question 2. Question 2, we have the ogive graph. So here we are told that the company conducted research among all of its employees on what percentage of their monthly salary was spent on fuel in a particular month. The data is represented in the ogive, the cumulative frequency below. Okay. So first question, how many people were employed at this company? So this is the percentage on your x-axis. However, the y-axis will tell us the number of people. So how many people were employed at this company? 60. Write down the modal class of this data. People want to say modal class. is the class that has the most. Not so. So if I consider this year, it's normally the one that has the steepest growth or the steepest climb. Not so. So it's from this point to that point, as you can see there. So this point corresponds with 42, 45, if that's correct. And this year corresponds with 2024. Not so. This year at 15 corresponds with 12. 10 corresponds to 245. That, of course, is 0. 30 corresponds with 58. And then 16. So 45, 24 to 45 seems to be the largest growth. Not so. So what the class interval, the modal class is from 20 to 25. So x is greater than 20 but less than equal to 25. Okay, is that correct? We'll look at the next question. 2.3, just take it. Question 2.3, we are told how many employees spend more than 22.5% of their monthly salary on fuel. So now 22.5 is exactly midway between 20 and 25. Not so. We take our ruler and we go up. Can you see is it on that halfway there? Or is it on the solid line? Is that value on the solid line or is it between the two? I can't see it. It looks like it's on the solid line. Is that correct? So I take the reading there, which is 34. 34 employees. It says how many employees spend more than? No. More than. So it's this part here. Not so. You would say it said less than. Then I would have said 34 employees. But it's the upper part there. So it's going to be 60 minus 34, which is 26. Is that correct? 26. Okay. Then we are told that an employee spends 2,400 Rand of his salary on fuel. In that particular month, 2,400 Rand, okay? Determine the monthly salary of the employee if he spends 7% of his salary on fuel. So in 2.4, say his monthly salary is X. So what they did was they multiplied that by 7% to get 2,400 there. Not so. So it's X times 7%, so it's 7 over 100. It's equal to 2,400 rand. So X is equal to, so it's going to be 2,400 divided by 7%. Gives you 34,000. 285 Rand and 71 cents. Okay. So that's his monthly salary. Okay. Then the last question says, in question 2.5, question 2.5, we are told that the monthly salaries of these employees remains constant and the number of liters of fuel used in each month also remains constant. If the fuel price increased from 21,43 Rand to 22,79 per liter at the beginning of the next month, how will the above ogive change? Okay, so as you can see here, that the price of petrol increased, not so. It can increase by how much percent? Percentage increase. Let's work out that. So it's going to be the difference. So it's 22,79 minus 21,43 over the original, which is 21,43 times 100. Remember, for percentage increase or decrease, it's going to be difference over the original times 100. So it's going to be 22, just make this calculator the normal format. So it's 22,79 minus 21,443, and this is over 21.43. The times this by 100. So that's a 6,34% increase. 6,35% increase. So if there's an increase of 6,35, I would say that this graph, since as it's standing here, the salary remains constant. However, if the fuel increases by 6,35%, that means to say that this graph, the ogive, will move to the right by, I would say, 6,35%. So I would say that they would have probably accepted the graph is moving to the right. Okay, well, what is the full answer that they expected from you? It's all the same. Sorry? Will become steeper. Okay. Because it's absolutely, and that is where I'm a bit, why they should have accepted basically anything from this point is that this has to stay here. Because, now this point can move. This is a variable move. However, this point here can't move. Why can't that point move? No, it can actually. As long as it's staying in line with that 60. Yeah, so it can move. So they're accepting the graph is moving to the right or the graph is steeper. Okay. Any one of that is acceptable. But there's more factors that comes into play here. I can't just say the graph is just moving to the right though. There's many factors here that's in play here. Okay. So whatever you're going to say there that's going to make sense, I would probably accept. Okay. Alright, let's go to something more exciting. Analytical geometry. Right, question 3. We are told that in the diagram A, which is 4 and 2, B, which is 6 and negative 4, C, which is negative 2 and negative 3, are vertices of triangle ABC. T is the midpoint of CB. As you can see, it's marked as equal there. The equation of line AC, follows a formula 5x minus 6y equals 8. The angle of inclination of AB is alpha, as marked there. Triangle DCT. DCT is drawn such that these lines are parallel, so co-interior angles are equal there. Right. Then we tell that line AC and DT intersect at S. The y-intercept of AC, so that can be calculated there already. We are told that PF and R are x-intercepts. PF and R are x-intercepts of DC, AC, and AB respectively, which means to say in that order. People, everything is now in this diagram, so I don't need to know that story there. Alright. First question. Calculate the gradient of AB. So that is simple. The gradient of AB is going to be change in y, but change in x. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you make this x1, that will be y1, x2, y2. So that's going to be minus 4 minus 2 over 6 minus 4. So it's going to be minus 6 over 2, which is negative 3. So the gradient there is going to be negative 3. All okay with that? Eh? Right. Did you do the homework? Huh? So you got negative 3. Right. Then is solve for alpha. So what we then say is tan of alpha equals a negative 3. We do arctan of negative 3. Because it's negative, we're going to add 180. Okay? So you say arctan of negative 3 plus 180 gives us an obtuse angle of 108.43. 108.43 degrees. Okay. It doesn't specify 1 or 2 decimal places. We would have probably accepted both, but initially the question is normally 2 decimal places. Okay, unless otherwise specified. Right, let's look at the next question. So here we are told calculate the coordinates of t. So as you can see here, t is going to be your midpoint, not so. So how do you calculate midpoint? It's x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, so t is simply going to be minus 2. I'm using these coordinates here. Minus 2 plus 6 over 2 and negative 3 minus 4 over 2. So that is going to be 4 over 2, which is 2, and negative 7 over 2. Okay. Number 4, the coordinates of S. As you can see, S is your y-intercept. How do you calculate y-intercept? We let x equal to 0. So we say we got 5 times 0 minus 6y is equal to 8. We can drop that, so y is equal to negative 4 over 3. Therefore, S is 0 and negative 4 over 3. Okay. There's like something really coming, eh? Then we are asked to calculate the equation or determine the equation of CD in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. CD, CD. People, if lines are parallel, we know that gradients are equal. So the gradient of CD, this is 3.2 now. The gradient of CD is the same as the gradient of AB, which is equal to negative 3. Okay, so what do we say now? Y is equal to negative 3x plus c. So now we need a point on the line CD, which we do have, c. So you'll substitute c, which is negative 2 and negative 3. So it's going to be negative 3 is equal to negative 3 times negative 2 plus c. So that is positive 6. Take that over, becomes negative 6, so it's negative 9. So therefore y is equal to negative 3x minus 9. Okay. Look at the next question. Three point three, we are told 3.3, we are told to calculate the size of DCA. DCA. That's it. That's the angle. Okay. So there's many ways of doing that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line parallel to your x-axis here. I'm going to calculate this angle here. Let's call this theta 1. Let's call this theta. And this angle here is angle. Can't be alpha, rather beta. Then that angle they're referring to there, I can say beta minus theta. Can you see that? Because theta is this angle, beta is the whole angle. If you subtract the two, I'll get that angle. Okay. So let's go with that calculation quickly. Calling this theta, then beta. 3.3.1. So we say tan of beta. Now you see that the beta angle is actually the same as. You see, it's parallel to this line, to AB. Can you see this line is parallel to that? So it's going to have the same gradient, which means to say it has the same inclination. So that is actually alpha. Okay, so I just need to work out theta. So theta is equal to the gradient of AC. So to work out the gradient is going to be 2. I'm using these points now. Okay, to get the gradient of AC. It's going to be 2 minus 3 over 4 minus 2. So that will be 5 over 6. So arctan of 5 over 6. Arctan of 5 over 6 gives us 39.81. So therefore, DCA is equal to alpha minus theta, which is 108.43 minus 39.81. So it's 108.43 minus the answer, which is 68.62. Okay, is that correct? 68.62 degrees. Alright. I'm going to write it in 68.62, and if needed, that is 39.8. People, what you notice here is that I'm populating the diagram all the time. Okay? So just in case we need those values, at one glance you can see what we have. Okay? Go with the last question. It says calculate the area of POSC. POSC. So what type of shape is that? Could be many. No? Not a trapezium because the lines are not opposite, lines are not parallel. Remember in paper 1 I said there's two points where I asked you to calculate shapes. No? Here's the second one. Okay? I think it was in the graph question I asked you to calculate something similar. So what you should note here is that I can divide the shape and get then POSC, the area, to be equal to the area of triangle POS plus the area of triangle PSC. Now, if you're looking at the first triangle, this would be a right angle triangle. How do I know that? Because of that is 90. So it's going to be half of base times height. Okay? So you go half. Now, my height here is going to be 4 over 3. That's 4 over 3. Why? Because that is negative 4 over 3. Can you see that, people? Does it take it away? So that's 4 over 3 times the base. Now, I need to know what the point P is. Not so. I need to know what point P is. Why? Because OP would be the distance as the value of P is. Okay, this is the positive part there. But how do I calculate the coordinates of P? What is P? P is your x-intercept of the straight line, which is negative 3x minus 9. Not so. So how do we calculate? This is now 4P. How do we calculate your x-intercept? We let y equal to 0. So we said 0 is equal to negative 3x minus 9. So positive 3x is equal to minus 9. X is then equal to negative 3. So what is the length of OP? What's the length of OP? 3 units. It can't be negative 3. Why? Because our length is never negative. So this is going to be 3 plus. Now we're going to look at the other triangle now. Okay? Looking at this triangle here, we look at this, it's going to be, as you can see here, we got this angle here. That angle is 68,62. Okay? 68,62. So I need to know the length of CS using distance formula. Morning. So it's going to be 0 minus 2 squared plus minus 4 over 3 minus 3 squared. Okay? I'm sure there's an easier way, but let's first do this one first. 2 squared plus open brackets negative 4 over 3 plus 3 all squared. That gives you a root 61. The root 61 over 2 over 3. So it's going to be half times root 61 over 3 times. Now I need this other length here, which is PC as well. So PC, same story, which is the negative 3 minus plus 2 squared plus 0 minus plus 3 squared. It's going to be the square root of, open brackets, 1 squared. It is 1 plus 3 squared, which is 9, which is the root of 10. That's going to be the root of 10 times that angle. So it's going to be sine 68 comma 62. Okay. Let's put that in the calculator. So it's going to be half times 4 over 3 times 3 plus a half times the root of 61 over 3 multiplied by the root of 10 multiplied by sine 68 comma 4. So it's 68 comma 62. 62. 5 comma 833. Is that correct? Okay. People, that's one way of doing it. Okay. Otherwise, I'm just going to take everything. Just take as much as we can of here. Just take. Okay. So alternatively, what we could have said was they wanted that thing. Not so. So what you could have done was we could have concluded that shape there. Okay, let's call this X and this is M. I hope I never use that point yet. Alright, so we know this was 0 and negative 4 over 3. No? So what would the coordinates of M be, which is on your y-axis here? Should be 0 and negative 3. The coordinates of x is, what is the coordinates of p? I think it was negative 3, no? So this is going, x is going to be negative 3 and negative 3. Right. So what I do is I say the area of POSC is equal to that rectangle, which is the big rectangle, minus the triangle PXC minus the area of triangle CMS. Okay. So this rectangle measures 3 by 3. This is actually a square. Can you see that? Okay, so that is 3 and the drop is also 3. So it's 3 by 3. How do you calculate that area? 3 times 3. So 3 squared minus. Now the area of this triangle here, PXC. Okay, so it will be half base. Remember that's 90 degrees, no? So from X to C, that is going to be 1 times your perpendicular height, which is also 3, minus, this is also a right angle triangle here. So it will be half my base is 2, my perpendicular height. What is 4? What is 3 minus 4 over 3? Is 9 is 5 over 3. Just check there. 3 minus 4 over 3. Somebody? 5 over 3. Okay. So let's work that out. So it's 3 squared minus a half times 1 times 3 minus half times 2 times 5 over 3. 35 over 6, which is 5,833. People, 2 different ways of calculating the same thing. Of course, the one in black is so much easier. Not so, but that I only realized once I was through the sum. There must be an easier way. Okay. Okay. This was a nice question, huh? Yeah, beautiful. Yeah? Especially if you get it right. It feels like you haven't wasted your 12 years at high school. Not at high school, at school. So they'll say now, yeah, who have you spent 12 years here? Right, so we are told that in the diagram M, we're looking at question 4 now. In the diagram M, which is 3 and negative 5, is the center of the circle having PN as a diameter. People, the diameter, what do we know? Is KL a tangent? Yes, so that MN will be perpendicular to tangent KL. Not so. Then we are told that N is 7 and negative 2. That everything that is given there is on this diagram anyway. Question 4.1. Calculate P. People, we know that that's the end point. Not so. So, let's make that X and a Y for P. So that would simply be X plus 7 over 2 equals 3. Okay, which is the midpoint. And then you got Y plus negative 2 over 2 is equal to Y mid, which is negative 5. That's number 1. We cross multiply. So X plus 7 is equal to 6. X is equal to negative 1, which makes sense, yes. And then Y minus 2 is equal to negative 10. So Y is equal to negative 8. So the coordinates of P is negative 1 and negative 8. Okay, so we'll stop here. And then on Monday we will conclude, or next week we will conclude the paper. Okay. People, enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. Good morning, class.